Hello, Enshrouded players. I wanted to make a video of how I built a base on top of the tallest tree possible in the game Enshrouded. I wasn't even sure you could make it all the way up there, but it turns out you can pretty much make it anywhere that you want to in this game using the stone altars and stuff. So me and my buddy started our trek up through that Volca, or those like furry people village, and we just start climbing up, and I had the double jump ability and the glide ability where you can boost yourself up in the air by hitting spacebar. So as you can see, I'm using it here to make it this gigantic gap. If you play Enshrouded, you already know that the surfaces are really slippy, and it can be tough to climb up steep inclines and stuff like that. But with double jump and pickaxing the tree, you can make it all the way up. And when you use these stone altars, it's pretty easy. You can just start building like crazy. And if you have an excess amount of shroud cores, you can upgrade them, which increases the radius of the building area by a lot. So using that method, I'm pretty sure you could build anywhere that you wanted to on the entire map. I haven't looked up a video, but I did see a thumbnail for one saying that like I exploited the game basically, and I'm pretty sure they just built a bridge basically expanding the entire Enshrouded map. Anyways, after a while and a couple falls and stuff, we finally made it to the top. Here is the top of the last shrine radius that we built, and we kind of decided to make it in this little crevice right here. I figured this would be a nice spot because you could start a floor connecting all three of those branches. And this is at the pretty much the very top. There's that one branch that goes above us, and that's it. So the view is probably the best in the game that you can get. Well, actually, probably not, because I think there's a frozen area that's taller, but I haven't been there yet. I spent most of my time in this game probably building so far, and I'm waiting for the next update for more interesting stuff. That's my buddy right there falling with me as we spin to the depths, and this is just to show you how high up this tree is. It's insane. When I first came across this tree, I couldn't believe it. It's unreal, and I definitely wanted to make a base up here. So this was just the adventure of getting up there. But yeah, we just fell for a solid, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, I don't know. Something crazy. Okay, so a little time skip. A couple of the clips I forgot to save, but I did put together what I had. So this was the kind of kitchen and storage area that I wanted it to be. And then I kind of wanted it all to be on the one floor when it comes to the crafting gear and then kitchen stuff. So, and then I kind of mapped out a second and third floor just for the start, which I did kind of go back and start adjusting, because once you start putting roofs on your builds, it can turn out to be a little off. So I think here it'll show that. I don't even know why. Maybe I'm just putting those to walk. Yeah, so yeah, something was off, and I just delete it all, start from scratch. Because there's a lot of building opportunities or options that you can do in this game. So there's a lot of little mistakes you can make in a build that would cause other parts of your build to not align. So there's a lot of thinking. There is a lot of thinking that you have to do when you build in this game. But anyways, let's chop that tree down, get some space for the back end of the base, since we kind of have the center and the front laid out already. Yeah, made sure to match it evenly from the stone altar in the center, just like 3 or 4 squares out, and then 3 or 4 squares out on the sides as well, just to keep it even along the center of the tree, because I didn't want it to be jutting out from the tree too far on one edge or something like that. When looking up at it from below, it should look decent and like technically supported. Not really technically, just it should look supported by the tree. I tried reloading my game there because, as you can see in the tree, the floors that you put that jut up against the tree make holes or like lines, and reloading it does not fix that. So if you do something like this, just be aware of that, because you won't be able to fix the tree itself. So here, after placing the roofs and some of the walls, I kind of wanted to use this natural incline of that tree branch as a staircase to the second floor. So I ended up going back and deleting that staircase I had previously, and then kind of making an opening for that. This area I wanted to be for all my crafting stuff. So I wanted a big open area because there's a lot of crafting equipment and tools and benches and stuff that you need to do this, to use everything in the game. So here we have that incline, looking pretty good. Got the second floor all mapped out, which is kind of where I'm planning on just putting a bed and a bedroom. And then branching off the bedroom, I'm gonna put just a little balcony overlooking the workspace area. So with roofing, it can be a little difficult as well when it comes to aligning all of your parts. A lot of little things can go wrong. So roofing is definitely a little difficult. As you can see here, there's a little like, it looked even, but then you look at it from a different angle and it's not even close to being even close to being even. So here you can see I'm working on that natural staircase, trying to figure out the roofs as we go, and I kind of have to take breaks from roofs and then move on to something else, because it can get, tedious, and then you want to go do something else for a little bit. So we added some poles to the staircases to make them look a little more believable structurally. So that's going up to the third floor. This is that second floor bedroom. Here I'm making I wanted a big open area on the front of the base. Finish up some roofing here. And you'll see in a little bit how nice it looks once you get everything aligned correctly. Just takes a minute, So here you can see I'm covering all the edges, trying to get the walls to be covered by the roof. And look at that. Looks nice. Looks good. I'm just going to fill in this giant hole, which I forgot to clip. Boop. Add some more roofs. Oh, trees blocking that. Bummer. Anyways, we continue. We move on. Finish some of these little holes that need covering, so we're not getting rained on while we're on the third floor, which I was kind of planning on using as a bathroom, even though you don't technically need one. It's just for aesthetic, I guess. A true home / base up here in the tree to make it a complete and fulfilled tree house. Here I'm filling in all the gaps of the workspace area, and I kind of wanted to make this a elevated platform just for the main stuff, so like your workbench. And then on the sides, I'd have all this stuff. So you can just see I'm plopping these down wherever, trying to fit as much as I can on those edges. Here I'm adding little decorations, put a grindstone up there, why not? Make it symmetrical, why not? Makes it look nice. Look at that. Bam. Alright, and then you have this giant alchemy station, which I had to figure out where I wanted to put that. Not alchemy, that's like coloring. That's a dyeing station, basically. Moving all the storage took a long time. Oh, we're skipping that part for now. We're moving on to I don't want to call it that. I want to call it the NPC dungeon, I guess. Dungeon room. I don't know. They yell at you every time you come in within 5 feet of them. They go, hey! Or they go, they don't even say words. They just yell at you sometimes. So I put them kind of below the base, because I don't want them yelling at me every single time I walk in. So it's directly below that first floor. And I made a little pathway down to it just to make it, accessible. But here you can kind of see me walking around. I wanted to be able to access it quickly without having them yell at me all the time. So I'm putting them all down here, making beds, trying to figure out where I want them situated. and I want to be able to access it quickly. So I'm trying to figure out how I can make a hole from the first floor to fall directly down into this area, so I can, you know, pick up quests easily, and do all that stuff. Yeah, there's a branch. I wanted to leave as much of the tree as possible, and you'll kind of see that later on in the build. I leave as much of the tree untouched as I can. So here I'm just roofing around it, using those small squares to not jut too far into the tree. Here's where that dying station. Second floor, putting some lights up, because it definitely gets dark once you get all the roofing and ceilings going. And this build took quite a while. You'll see the days pass and nights fall and all that good stuff. Here is where I came up with a genius idea. This is going to be an infinity pool. Not really. Kind of more like a hot tub. Because I don't have glass to use to make it seem like an infinity pool. But yeah, I thought it'd be kind of cool out here on this balcony. And here is where you can craft the water dispensers. They'll dispense water endlessly. I've heard stories of people using these things and forgetting about them and then flooding entire areas, and then their game is just running at 20 FPS because there's so much water just pouring out everywhere. So I looked at the drain. I don't think you need one for this, because it's just a box and the water stops flowing when it gets covered by the water level. So we should be good here. So I thought it was a sweet idea. I haven't done any of this before. This is basically my first actual build in this game. I just had a little hut before, and I decided to... This is that little hut right here. I'm gonna go milk my goats. Oh yeah. Yep. I was moving all my storage from here. One day I was bored. This is the most building I had done previously. Check this out. Fly through the hole. Unbelievable. Crazy. Hit the dance on them. Yep. Alright. Anyways, there's a bunch of decorations and different materials for crafting things in this game, and there's plenty more. I'm not that far into it, so even just this was kind of overwhelming. But you're gonna see me start to plop down some furniture in this bedroom to fill it a little bit, to make it look a little better. Get some doors going. I wanted to keep the tree look of the tree house, of course. So I got some of those wooden doors, some of these branch window frames, which are kind of cool. I just would alternate each one to keep it different, because there's like 3 options for these, I think. This is the kitchen area. I wanted all the sunlight to be pouring in on the kitchen area. Okay, so this is where that idea I had previously of getting down to those NPCs easier comes in. Had to make some adjustments into this floor. I thought I opened it up here, and there you can see me slide it into place. But yeah, there was a whole nother floor, or ceiling, I guess technically, I needed to get rid of. Stick a ladder into the tree, and you can climb up right there, and then you can just double jump out. I thought that was good enough for me. You could probably make some pretty sick, you know, secret doors and stuff, but well, I think mine was pretty sick, honestly. I don't know. Anyways, got him a door, you know, got him some lights. They should be good in there. Make sure the door works. Yep, check. Give them some frames, you know. They can't be completely deprived down there. Anyways, more furniture. I got some nice, I don't know why that one clip had audio. They had some nice options, things to make the place look nice. Here we're putting up some beams because I wanted the structural integrity to really stand out, you know, make it look nice. And then this is what really seals the deal on the natural staircase, is the railing. They had these nice wooden railings that were huge, but it's a pretty big staircase, so it actually worked out. lower that into place. Bam. Yep. Then I crafted a bunch of these railings because I didn't want the edges just to, you know, safety is #1 priority. So, had to make a bunch of these to fill out the entire area. Put a little pole there. Yup. These are the stairs up to the storage area that I skipped earlier. Fill out the kitchen a little bit. I've seen some crazy builds with some crazy kitchens. Mine is pretty minimal. Alright, I didn't go all out just yet. I probably will after the updates come out. I think it's the 1.0 update when the game officially releases. I'll probably come back and make quite a few updates to this and maybe finish the game because I haven't done that yet. But yeah, look at this. So this next part, I didn't clip the beginning of the building process, but I wanted to be able to farm here so I wouldn't have to teleport back and forth between my old base and this treehouse. So I needed to figure out how I could do that and make it look fine. So I basically put these platforms along these lower branches, which ended up working quite well. Just a little bit further down the tree, and yeah, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick, I can't lie. Putting these things along the branches make it look like it should be supported. So that was another thing that I wanted to keep in mind, see how it like ramps up that branch. So I could just farm here, go down, fly down if I needed to, and just make it quick and easy. Here I put some wooden pillars just to see how it would look. I think I kept these. Yeah, and this part required a lot of minor adjustments. I wanted the dirt to be level with the walkways, so I actually had to build one little block down from the walkways and then surround them with edges so that I could put the dirt in and the dirt would be level with the walkways. There's a quick little shot of how it's looking, which is pretty nice. And yeah, get the farm soil. I think we skip here. Yeah, so I added stone because I think this whole area was just too wooden. I think a secondary, complementary material or color would look nice. So it added a lot of work, which was fine with me. I didn't, I like building in this game. But the stone accented everything pretty nicely. And I created linings for all the stairs, all the walkways, and all the crop plots. And stone's a pretty easy material to get in this game. Okay, these little stone walls were probably the most troublesome part. You couldn't lower them any further than that. So I had to jump off and make little floating platforms to be able to reach those areas. And then kind of, make do with alternatives with like little stone pillars. Alright, here I'm putting all the farm soil so you can see what I mean when I was saying I wanted it level with the walkways. Yup. And you can actually fit, it doesn't look like much, but you can fit quite a few crops on here, which you'll get a shot of later. But yeah, here, back to those stone walls. Again, I was alternating back and forth because you get tired of doing one thing for too long and then you want to switch it up. So there you can see I'm alternating with the little stone pillars instead of these walls. Yep, a lot of jumping back and forth between floating platforms. It's very dangerous work. And again, I'm trying not to go into the tree too much, so you'll see me just stop the stone right there because it's already completely against the tree. Alright, here we got a sunset, I think. Sunset, little display of what we got going on so far. So at night it got pretty dark and hit a little jig on them. You know what's up? Create some stone braziers. Is that how you say it? To really lighten the place up. And I decided to put these on all corners of the plots to really light up the crops when they're growing. And you know, there's a bunch of different colorful crops that you can grow. So thought it'd be a nice touch, and it definitely was. It was a good decision. Looking down at it from the house is really cool. And then I decided to line every single crop plot, basically everything down here in stone. Which again took a long time. Since this game has so many building options, you can do so much with it, but it also makes it very, you know, difficult to get everything placed exactly how you want it. So again, a lot of the floating platforms were used, and a lot of minor adjustments to where I'm building were made. But all the materials like flow into other materials really well in this game, so it makes it all look really good, even if you're building other things within other things. So like wood platforms within stone platforms. Here I'm gonna get some crops down. And yep, I did not jump before I removed that platform, and it cost me dearly. Not really though, because you can just teleport back up. And I decided to add some other decorations to the, I don't know, farm area. You can make these giant statues with just stone from one of the NPCs, so I made one just to see what it looked like, and it was pretty sick, so I threw it under a platform under here. Then I put this brazier, I don't know if I should call it that, I'll just say like flame thing, right behind it, so at night it should glow up. Oh. And here's the final tour after some adjustments. You can put a well up there. I don't know if you saw that, but there's a well up on the tree branch, and it works. Don't ask me how. I guess we're just slowly sucking all the water out of the tree until it eventually dies, and then my entire base falls to the ground. See what I mean? Hey! Yep. You walk right next to them and they just start screaming at you. Kind of went all out on the bathroom. Look at, check that out. Oh yeah. Yep. Got them a pretty cool hobbit door, which I was a little jealous of. And here you can see my crops. I have some giant trees going right now, so kind of blocks the view of the little garden house we got going on back there, but still pretty sick. All the stone I think looks really nice, It's always raining in this game, so unfortunately the view is kind of blocked off, but still pretty sweet. Good for the crops. Yeah, and I just added these grapples to get up to the house easier, so I wouldn't have to like teleport every time. But yeah, leads right up to the second floor. I put ivy everywhere just to make it look natural. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if anyone's. I'm pretty sure. I almost guarantee other folks have built up here, but I mean, just here's another fall just to show you how high up this tree is. It took quite a while to get all the way up there. Jumping from tree limb to tree limb and building up and then deleting a shrine and restarting again, but yeah. When you can actually see everything and it's not raining, the view is pretty crazy. Anyways, thanks for watching. And yeah, if you try this out yourself, let me know. Thanks.